Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Cynthia. Government assures anti-hopping law to be enforced before GE15. And 32 children among victims of deadly stadium stampede. That and more coming up. The Dewan Rakyat has passed the Anti-Stalking Bill in a voice vote after its third reading. The bill to amend the Penal Code was tabled by Deputy Law Minister Mas Ermiati Samsudin in the Dewan Rakyat today.
The bill seeks to make stalking, whether virtually or otherwise, an offence punishable by imprisonment for up to 3 years, a fine, or both if convicted. Mas Ermiati said the laws was needed to complement the anti-sexual harassment law passed in the last Dewan Rakyat meeting. She emphasized that the anti-stalking provision is for criminal offences, while the anti-sexual harassment bill was more for civil claims. The Dewan Rakyat also passed the amendment to the Criminal Procedural Code to include anti-stalking provisions.
The Prisons Department has rejected former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak's request to attend Dewan Rakyat proceedings. His lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah says the bid was turned down on security grounds.
According to Shafi'i, an appeal has been made to Home Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin against the rejection. Should the minister fail to reply by tomorrow afternoon, Shafi'i said they would file for judicial review at the High Court. He said it was illogical for Parliament to be deemed an unsafe place for Najib to be. Last month, Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Azhar Azizan Harun confirmed that Najib remained Pekan MP as he had filed a petition seeking a royal pardon for his SRC international case. Azhar said Najib could still attend Parliament settings despite his prison sentence, but subject to the Prisons Department's approval.
The weaker ringgit against the US dollar has little impact on the government's debt payment. Economic Minister Datuk Sri Mustafa Mohamad said its direct debt is largely denominated in ringgit, with less than 5% in the US dollar. He said much of the government's debt, particularly treasury bills and government securities, is in ringgit. Mustafa said the fluctuations in the ringgit's value were normal and it had not performed as badly as some other currencies, following the aggressive rate hikes by the US Federal Reserve, strengthening the dollar against other major currencies. Meanwhile, Bank Negara Malaysia Governor Tan Sri Nur Syamsiah Muhammad Yunus said the weakening ringgit, which is at its lowest since 1998, does not reflect the state of Malaysia's economy, adding that the economy was robust with healthy labour market and resilient financial system. The ringgit has lost 11.6% against the dollar so far this year. The government has pledged the anti-party hopping law will be enforced before the 15th general election. De facto Law Minister Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar gave the assurance, although no enforcement date has been announced yet. Amendments to the Federal Constitution, which prevents MPs from switching political parties, was passed in the Dewan Rakyat on July 28th. The law was also approved in a special sitting of the Dewan Negara on August 9th. It then received royal consent from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong on August 31st and was gazetted on September 6. Wan Junaidi added that the cabinet approved further constitutional amendments to prevent senators from party hopping as well. He said several major bills are still on track to be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat, including amendments to abolish the mandatory death penalty and parliamentary reforms such as limiting the post of Prime Minister to 2 terms. The Control of Tobacco Products and Smoking Bill 2022, or Generational Endgame, will be tabled in Parliament not later than Thursday. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said the bill, initially scheduled to be tabled today, needs to be scrutinised further before tabling it.
Jawatan Kuasa Pilihan Khas menimbang rang undang-undang memerlukan lebih masa bagi membolehkan jawatan kuasa ini meneliti isu-isu yang menjadi perhatian awam dengan lebih menyeluruh dan mendalam sebelum menyedia dan membentangkan penyatanya kepada Dewan ini.
Among other things, the bill will prohibit the sale and use of any form of smoking material, including electronic cigarettes or vaping, to individuals born on January 1st, 2007 onwards, with the aim to build a tobacco-free generation in Malaysia, which is also known as the generational endgame. The government has further reduced the selling price for bottled cooking oil. Cooking oil in 5 kg bottles will now be capped at 31 ringgit 50 cents, a reduction from the current selling price of 33 ringgit 50 cents effective October 8th.
Meanwhile, cooking oil sold in 3 kg, 2 kg and 1 kg bottles will be capped at 1990 ringgit, 1350 ringgit and 710 ringgit respectively. The new ceiling prices will be in effect until November 7th. The government removed subsidies on bottled cooking oil on July 1st, but instituted price controls. At present, government subsidies are only provided for cooking oil in 1 kg polybags.
The Straits of Malacca is home to a plethora of marine species, some of which cannot be found in other parts of the world. But with Malacca planning to build a 120-kilometer link between Malaysia and Indonesia, marine biologist Dr. Maria Marcos warns that the strait's rich biodiversity is at risk of destruction. She tells us how great the ecological impact might be.
The Malacca Sea already, the Strait of Malacca is already suffering a lot the environment's crimes. And I think this is one more. Also because it's not necessary, you know. It's like it's something that the population really need. Malacca could be on the map for fight against the climate change because we have all the mangrove in the coastline, and the mangrove is the best ecosystem to absorb the CO2. Also because Malaysia got 11 species of marine mammals. Marine mammals is the whales and the dolphins. But 9 of these 11 species, they cross by from the Strait of Malacca. This means the same like the Strait of Malacca is the link between Asia and Europe and the Western world. Also is the link for the animals. They use this strait to cross. Okay, so in the moment that you are creating this disruption, in this area, you are cutting the migration of these whales and dolphins.
With much of the strait's habitat at stake, Maria reminds us that all actions have consequences.
So the ocean and the sea give us a lot the important function to our life. And this is something I feel that the people that is in high position, like politicians and businessmen, they totally forget about this. And it's important to remind them we are part of the planet and our decision have an important impact. So we should have a positive impact, not a negative impact.
Is the government prepared to provide support and services for the growing number of people affected by dementia, both patients and their caregivers? On Consider This, we ask our guest about the need for a national level plan on dementia. We will go for a quick break. Stay with us.
Apabila jejak kekaya bertemu si gadis rider.
Sekarang ni aku nak kau bayar balik.
Setakat motor buruk ni.
Jadi bos dia pula tu.
Masa kerja, buat cara kerja. Awak dibayar gaji untuk kerja.
Mama boyo ni.
Tapi bila bos dalam kesusahan, si dia juga yang datang membantu.
Ni bos aku kenalah protect. Daripada perempuan gila macam kau. Baik kau belas sekarang.
Tiada maaf buatmu di Astro Ria dan Astro Go. Makin dibiar, makin naik.
Amboi. Jangan pandang orang daripada rupa. Sebab cik pun tak ada rupa. Awak tahu tak? Beza awak dengan termos ni. Termos ni buat isi air panas. Awak bikin hati saya panas.
Awak down lah.
Awak down lantak awak.
Awak down lantak awak.
Ada benda kelakar ke?
Tahu lah.
Betul ke episod akhir ni? Sepatu reunion live di Astro Warna dan Astro Go.
Welcome back. In Indonesia, officials revealed that 32 children were among at least 125 people killed in a football stampede over the weekend. The tragedy in the city of Malang also left another 323 injured, becoming one of the world's worst stadium disasters. Saturday's deadly stampede came as Arema FC supporters stormed the pitch after their team lost 3-2 to rivals Persebaya Surabaya. Describing the unrest as riots, Indonesian authorities said they tried to force fans to return to the stands and fired tear gas after 2 officers were killed. Panicked spectators attempting to escape the stadium led to many victims being trampled or choked to death. Players and staff of Arema FC visited a shrine dedicated to victims of the disaster.
Kita cuma berharap kalau ini adalah titik nol dari era baru di sepak bola Indonesia atau di sepak bola dunia, di mana stop lah satu hasil pertandingan itu nggak sepantas dibayar dengan nyawa orang, apalagi lebih dari 100 orang. Jadi sebenarnya sudah nggak masuk akal, sudah nggak pantas.
Governing body FIFA said the incident was a dark day for all involved, adding that its safety regulations do not allow the use of firearms at matches. President Joko Widodo has ordered a safety review into all matches and a suspension of all football games until security was improved. An independent team has also been set up to investigate the incident over the next few weeks, with the aim to find out who was responsible for the tragedy. British Prime Minister Liz Truss announced reversing plans to cut the highest rate of income tax at 45%, a proposal which was introduced just 10 days ago. The decision is likely to put Truss and Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng under huge pressure less than 4 weeks after being in government.
Truss and Kwarteng announced a new growth plan on September 23rd to cut taxes and regulation funded by government debt to assist in economic growth. Among them, the plan to scrap the 45% rate paid by people earning more than £150,000 a year. The announcement roiled the market. The pound fell to record lows against the dollar, while government borrowing costs soared. Several senior lawmakers in the Conservative Party had come out publicly against the policy, saying cutting government spending and hiking borrowing to fund tax cuts for the richest was politically risky during a cost of living crisis.
Now, over in Miami, Florida, over 80 people have died from Hurricane Ian, with recovery work estimated to cost tens of billions of dollars. The death toll was expected to rise as floodwaters receded and search teams pushed further into areas initially cut off from the outside world.
Hundreds of people have been rescued as emergency workers sifted through homes and buildings inundated with water or completely washed away. The Category 4 hurricane smashed ashore on Wednesday, being one of the strongest hurricanes to hit the U.S. Many storm victims were left isolated with limited cell phone service and lacking basic amenities like water and power. Meanwhile, authorities faced questions over whether they mandated evacuations on time, but defended their response and said evacuation orders were given on time, but many chose to ride the storm out.
All eyes will be in Stockholm this week as the Nobel Foundation announces its latest annual prizes. Today, scientist Svante Pääbo was named winner in the highly prestigious prize in physiology or medicine for his groundbreaking work on human evolution.
Among Pääbo's key achievements include sequencing an entire Neanderthal genome to reveal the link between extinct people and modern humans. The Swedish scientists also uncovered the existence of a previously unknown human species called the Denisovans from a 40,000-year-old fragment of a finger bone discovered in Siberia. The prize, arguably among the most prestigious in the scientific world, is awarded by the Nobel Assembly of Sweden's Karolinska Institute and is worth $900,000. Nobel Prize announcements will continue Tuesday with the Physics Prize, Chemistry on Wednesday and Literature on Thursday. The 2022 Nobel Peace Prize will be announced on Friday and the Economics Award on October 10th.
And that is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. My name is Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching.